Cancer, welcome back to Steampunk Psyche. If you are a returning subscriber, you have my love. I appreciate you. If you're brand new to the channel or just cross-watching, I'm JT. Like I always say, sometimes the major and the minor arcana line up with us in our day-to-day grind. Sometimes they don't. Don't hate the reader. Just trying to give you as many explanations of the cards that I see. Do keep in mind that I generate your haiku poems from the tarot spread. So I'll give you those right before your reading starts, kind of a hint at your reading, okay? All right, I'll give you the download. We'll shuffle up and we'll get started. Okay, Cancer, I wish for you in this reading some clarity. I wish for you, the universe, to lay out for you the path that you should take. I wish for you that you see the synchronicities and the signs for your destination. I wish for you that if it is love you are seeking, that you gain some kind of clarity, some kind of honest truth. If it is situationship, that you find a path. If it is finances, something unfolds for you that lets you know which direction you should go. All right, Cancer. Let's lay these out. We'll talk about your present energy, crossing challenge, foundation, the recent past, possibilities, the near future, the self, the environment, the hopes, fears, wishes, or worries, the outcome and the direction. Okay, Cancer, give me just a minute to look at these cards, and here are your brand new poems from Haiku Corner. We'll talk about this reading when I'm back. Okay, Cancer. I wish for everybody to stick around. Oops, got me all twisted up. I have never felt this kind of an emotional type of energy in cards. And I'm not trying to clickbait you at all. I really, really hope this reaches who it needs to reach, because this reading is about, as soon as I saw these cards, I'm Gen X, okay? And Eye of the Tiger, the song Eye of the Tiger. This is about somebody rising up. Now, I know that's kind of an older tune, right? But it does have that, it's got that, is anybody seeing how much I've been struggling? But yet it's still got that, I'm doing this on my own. So this could resonate with somebody like a single mom, a single dad. There's an Empress energy here, and we do have a combination of both. So take it as it fits here. But I just feel like somebody behind the scenes has made a decision. I'm getting goosebumps right now. I swear, it's crazy. This is about the struggle that somebody's going through. And it's kind of like in the gray, right? Nobody's seeing that rising up that you're doing. You've made a decision. I'm going to talk about these cards, so just bear with me, okay? We have the 10 of Swords. And I feel like what this is, it's like the universe saying, I saw every moment you kept going. When I'm telling you, I'm getting shook by this. It's like, I saw every moment that took place when no one was watching. You made a decision, you know. This is not a betrayal card here. You know, it was the burnout. It was the version of you that, you know, kept going long after your body said you need rest, right? Um, I don't know. This was the carrying too much, doing too much, and pretending everything's fine. You know, you didn't want to inconvenience people, the whole nine. So it's making that decision. You know, and I feel like this has got that. You know, I'm waking up tired even after sleeping, right? It's feeling like you're rebuilding your life from the ground up, you know. That was had everything to do with, cutting ties with people who drained you. It's realizing that you've outgrown old coping mechanisms, right? It's like everything hit at once, feeling like you're doing everything by yourself, feeling like, um, you know, in the times when your motivation was just shit. And I apologize. It's just, that's the way it feels like, it's that routine of life. It's just no longer sustaining you. And you knew you can't keep doing it that way, right? So it was that some kind of a quiet like breakdown that becomes a definite turning point. Okay. And this is the end of the old version of you. This is when this happened. This present energy, this could be today, it could have been yesterday, but I feel like whoever needs to hear this, um, I'm going to cushion this the best that I can. We've got this Six of Pentacles energy here in the crossing challenge. This is the knowing I need balance, right? And so I feel like you're an excellent giver, right? You're supportive, you show up, and it's like when someone tries to help you though, I feel like you freeze, right? You deflect, you say I'm good. You got to take all this on your own, and so I don't know, this could represent somebody's about to offer some help, and it's got that, no, I've got it, right? This is I feel guilty when I'm resting, struggle to accept compliments. You got that, it's still got that overgiving in friendships, feeling uncomfortable when someone, is trying to invest in you. But here's the thing, it's like, I don't know, I just got this feeling like somebody feels like they have to earn love or care. You know what I mean? And it was like, this is part of that crossing challenge for you. And that's what makes this feel like so alone. It makes me want to just hug you and just embrace you and say, look, I know what it's like to avoid people. You want to ask for help when you're right in the middle of drowning. I understand that. Saying yes when you want to say no, all of that. And that's why this is such a beautiful, beautiful reading. Okay. Look, this is why in your foundation, something happened, something changed. I'm not sure what this is for you. I'd love to hear your comments. Let me know. This is the conversation I'm talking about in the comment section. That this is where we come together as a community. This something happened. That's the blueprint phase of your life right here. It's like when you finally decide that I'm going to make a long-term financial plan, right? This for some of you is, it's all about research that you've done. I feel like if I move this direction, you know, um, in a new career path, that type of thing. Some of you are like, starting to get your routines together, right? Daily routines, things that support your goals, right? This could be like moving or relocating, or just getting out of the environment that you're in. Something is taking place here in the underlying. Like I said, it's feeling the urge to expand your world here, right? So it's got all about discipline, over impulse, setting boundaries. Maybe for some of you it's with family or something like that. Like I said, some of you could be like single moms, single dads, doing the day-to-day grind. Some of you just could be students moving on, in life, that type of situation. But this is the point where you're designing the life that you want. You're not going to wait for it anymore. Something took place here. Okay, let's look at this recent past, and you got this Four of Cups energy, right? In the recent past, you were focused on something else entirely, right? And I don't know. It's look, it's take it with a grain of glitter. Um, you're not like, some of you could have gone through some depression. You know, it's just kind of like a small disconnect. Nothing felt exciting. Nothing felt aligned. It's not like rejecting life or anything. It's just, I feel like at this point you were just trying to recalibrate, right? Feeling bored with your routines, losing interest in things that you used to enjoy, feeling like you were just kind of waiting on something, kind of turning inward, saying, I'm not really sure what I want, but um, I don't know. Some of you could have pulled away from like your social media, kind of just went emotionally flat here, you wanting some change, but not really knowing where to start, right? So it kind of had that holding pattern for you, right? And what I think is, at this time, it makes so much sense that this is kind of like when your soul is like reaching out to you. It's like saying, hey, get ready, you're about to clear some space, for the next chapter of your life. All right, we're going to look at this Ace of Cups. This is all the possibilities. The possibilities here. This is self-renewal. You know, this is it's kind of like you're giving yourself the emotional drink of water here, right? You know, this is at some point there's a hopefulness. I'm not sure what that is for you. You know, maybe you saw that there's a career path that you line up with, an opportunity that came, that creative spark, something, a new friendship, you know, that kind of nourished you. Somebody you looked up to was like, hey, what do you think about this? Why don't we just, you know, go down and check this out? And, you know, some of you, it could be like taking classes or, you know, but something happened here. It's some kind of an awakening took place, you know. For some of you, it could have been just a damn good cry, something you needed. It was a hug from a friend that, you know, you got a lot of things off your chest, or a lover or somebody that you're around. You know what I'm saying? That something that brought you back a connection to yourself again here. Okay. You know, that's the heart opening, right? Not to someone else necessarily, but to your own life. All right. We're going to look at this near future, and it makes sense. You know, the Two of Pentacles is another one of those, you know, grain of glitters, but it's productive chaos. It's not survival here. You know, this is all about, you know, how do I get all this together? So it's balancing the work, you know, the personal goals. Some of you, it's like, you know, having to get it lined out with daycare, or, you know, if you have children, or, you know, if this is a separation type phase, it's who's going to take the kids here, there, who's going to get them to practice, who's going to do this. For that, it could be for some of you, that could be the case. Others, it could be like, you know, just how do I time manage everything here? You know, I'm going to have to say no to distractions. You know, I'm not going to go out and party. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to, you know, raise Cain. I'm just trying to get my schedule together, reorganizing. So it's all about making choices that's going to definitely support, you know, that long-term vision that you have in your head, right? All right. So for some of you, like I said, it's definitely trying to learn how to manage your life, you know, more with more responsibility. You know, you're going to take on that CEO kind of mindset here, right? Not the caretaker. You're done with all that shit. Anyway, the two of Pentacles there. We're going to look at this self though, you know, and the Empress energy here. That's why I say this could be mainly focused on a feminine energy. It doesn't have to be. You could be the masculine in this situation, okay? But what that is it's not soft. It's not passive. It's kind of like, this is the builder, this is the creator, you know, the nurturer, right, and the receiver, all in one card here. You know, it's taking care of your body. It's eating better. It's, you know, eating with intentionality here, okay? And it's not just you know, it's all about, look, I've got the mindset now. I'm going to dress for success, right? You know, something that's going to reflect your identity. Who it's a total image change here. You know, you're going to get your home environment feeling the way you need it. You know, it's all about setting boundaries, you know, without guilt, prioritizing your needs here, you know, becoming way more intuitive. And I feel like this is who you always knew you were. So it's kind of like you're coming into your own source. You know, this is not an afterthought. You know, I think you know where this is headed. Okay. Now here's why this reading just, it's like so emotional. It's because it's all the things around you. You know, I've got you. Okay, your environment is shifting. Okay, and this could be your job, your home, you know, your routine or your relationship, whatever. But you know, something unstable is collapsing, and that's the dark gray area in the life, right? It's like nobody sees, and I don't feel like you're a boastful person. You know, the Empress is not boastful. She's not proud. You know, she's um you know what I mean? But I know you see things collapsing all around you, right? And so it's that wish for that stable environment, you know, something to replace it. And this is what the gray is doing. That gray skies, those dark days when nobody's paying attention. It's rebuilding your foundation. And this is why this reading is so important. I want you to hear this. I mean this. It's like this could look like a sudden collapse in a job that just slipped right out from underneath your feet. You were fired, or you're, you know, something major in your life, like the family dynamic shifting. Something big here took place. You know, you weren't able to meet your financial situation, or somebody's working on breaking a habit. You know, there's a, you know, some kind of a belief system. There's a moment of truth, but this is all about a forced reset, okay, that is about to become a major blessing in your life. You know, the universe is removing what cannot support your mindset, what you have made up in your mind. Okay. And sometimes it's like, it's hard to see those things, especially when it's so gray and dark, when you're sitting in that thing all alone, right? The study time, the lack of sleep time, the trying to, do the day to day grind, get everything done, and, not having enough time for just your own sovereignty, your own peace. You're studying hard, you're working at this job and, no pay with crappy, benefits, blah, blah, blah. But you got your mindset set on something, like I said, solid that you're moving into. Okay. And so in the hopes, fears, wishes, and worries, you have this Eight of Swords, and it makes sense, right? Look, it's all about circumstances. It's about responsibilities by your own mind. Okay. These are the overthinking, can I really do this? It's the things that creep up on you, the mind that says, hey, are you feeling stuck? Are you still stuck? Or is it, are you running out of time? Are you not doing enough? Is it, all these expectations? Maybe you have spoken to people and they're, they kind of got that doubtful energy, and or they're even supportive of you, and you were in that mindset before of, I don't know that I can even believe my own abilities, just it's got, just kind of feeling mentally foggy here, right? And you're wanting clarity, but it feels like you're being blocked. So it's all of those things that are wrapped up in this illusion card, right? You're going through that dark night, gray night that no answer anybody could tell you can really turn the dial of the intensity down for you, because you are your own worst critic here. You know, because you're pushing yourself. You're feeling overwhelmed by expectations, and things, but it's your own expectations here. Here is where this is where this outcome is amazing. This is what got me throughout this whole reading. This Ten of Pentacles energy. Here it is. This is the outcome and the direction. When I told you that I feel like the universe is the one speaking to you, saying, I see you. I see all the effort you've put in. I see what you've been doing. This is all about that long-term security here. This is the life that you looked back on. Some of you will, maybe you're just venturing into this right now, but you're going to look back and go, that's what this was all about. This is what it was all about. It was all about that healthier routine. It was all about creating some kind of a stable support system, whether that was friends or families or just, students, other people you were around, other, close friends, that lover, that whatever support system you had. That's what this is all about, right? Feeling very proud about who you've become here. Your effort becomes the empire in this. This becomes the legacy. Like I said, for some of you, you know, it's all about about the phoenix rising. It's a beautiful, beautiful reading. It's, you rise not because life got easier, but because, you're becoming so much clearer. You've made decisions. That Ten of Swords, it shows the exhaustion, right? It shows everything that you were carrying, right? Then we got this Tower card. you know it's like all the foundation that's blown away by expectations. I feel like what it's saying is, this is the person that shows the legacy. It's doing it right now. It's the daily discipline. It's the all the emotional honesty. It's the willingness. Don't forget to receive support, right? It's not small. It is not invisible. It's not wasted. The foundation of this life, I feel like you're about to say, it's mine. And the beautiful thing is I don't feel like you needed any kind of like a love storyline to validate any of it, right? This reading it stands on the strength, right? Not like you're belonging to somebody, okay? This is where I feel like this is where everything's going to pay off. That grind, those gray days, they all matter, okay? This is where the effort becomes like the foundation of your future here. You're not rebuilding anything anymore. It's all about upgrading now, okay? You're not waiting, you're creating. This is a beautiful, beautiful reading. Cancer, I'm telling you, I just feel so proud to be able to get to say this. It's like, it just reminds me of so many situations where you see a person that has just been in that dark days gray, and they finally make that effing decision to do something. And it's not easy. it's like, shit, you know, what am I doing? Or, you know, or you feel so alone, even though there may be people around you, but you're doing the work and nobody else can do it for you. And so there is such a validation to that. There's such a sovereignty to that. And I just feel really blessed to be able to get to say this to you. Anyway, I love you so very much. I hope this helps somebody. I hope it picked somebody up. I hope that somebody resonated with it. If you did, give it a thumbs up, would you? Anyway, I encourage anybody to comment, you know, let us know how this goes. It's beautiful. And I think other people could really get something from it. Anyway, I hope I get to see you on the next readings and good luck. All right. All right. Bye bye.